Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, biggest gob in sport. We're just waiting for Andy to log on, and here he is. Andy from Aberdeen. Women love him, men want to be him. Or should we say it's women love Andy, men want to drink like him. What are you down in there, Andy?
Oh, just a wee vodka. JJ Whiteley.
Hey,
That's nice, huh? Nice. JJ Whiteley. I meant to say to you earlier, my young lad, he's wanting us, he's wanting to go to a WRC rally.
Yeah.
Because he reckons this is the last year of WRC 1 cars yet. I think you get WRC 1, 2, and 3 different kind of cars. And next year they're going to move on to WRC 2 just as the main cars. I think they're about 300 odd horsepower.
Is that less?
But WRC 1 that's on at the moment, they're like 500 horsepower or mental life. So I think he's wanting to go and see them. But you're looking at going to Finland or somewhere like that, or Poland or something. So
them tracks are fantastic, aren't they?
Oh, aye.
Massive over there,
Finland.
isn't it? Finland's massive.
Great big jumps in Finland. It's really spectacular.
Have you been?
No, but it sounds good. He's mad about it. He's mad about rallying this.
What we should do, we should get in touch with Rico, because I think he's got a gaff over there. Rico, he's all
right.
I don't know if Rico's into all that. I know he follows his football and that. He's never really spoke to me about rally driving or all like that. Rico, get them duvets sorted out in your spare bedroom in Finland. Me and Andy are away. Julian's into all rally driving. We'll take Julian as well. He'd be into it, won't he?
Oh, he'd love that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. In Hakkinen, is it in Finland? Or is that Formula One?
Hakkinen, I think all the guys kind of grew up rallying, didn't they? All the folk in that part of the world, didn't they? But
do you remember when
I remember
Group B's? Do you remember when they went from Group B? Why did they call them Group B? I never really understood that. Did you?
No, because they went from Group B to Group A, didn't they?
Yeah.
So Group A was a bit tamer. Group B was mad. It was.
Who died with that Toivonen? It was that Toivonen.
Toivonen.
Henry Toivonen won it because didn't he go over the cliff about 160 mile an hour? He lost, didn't he? He lost control, didn't he? Or
car just burnt. It's made. I think a lot of it was made of magnesium and that. That just burns to a cinder.
Well, did he go? He went off the edge of a cliff, didn't he? Toivonen.
I think so. I think he landed down in the bottom of a pit in the woods or something. I think it's a documentary about it.
Yeah, and didn't round about that time, didn't one of them go flying off at track and into the crowd and kill a load of crowd? That the same? Were they Lanciers as well then?
Toivonen was in a Lancia, but I think the car that went to crowd, you're thinking it was an RS200, Ford RS200. I think he swerved to avoid because the spectators were mental. They were right crowding the side of the track.
Yeah. Hardcores, weren't they?
I want to touch the car and that,
Yeah, that'll be us. Yeah, while it's coming round the corner. Yeah, when I went to that one at Kiel, there was they had like a big, it took my breath away because I'm only a young kid, 16-year-old, but the big mile-an-hour scorecard thing, it's like up in pine trees and they're like 80 foot up in air, aren't they? It's put up by scaffold, isn't it? It's where they're all TV people. And I was like, wow. When they come through Forest, they're doing like 160, 170, aren't they, through Forest? It's crazy.
Probably about 130, 140 maybe.
Kilometers, might have been kilometers.
Yeah.
Up in the thing. I'm sure I've got a photo somewhere. It was saying about 170, 180 might have been.
Yeah, it could be kilometers.
It's but they're quick. They're really quick. I managed to get a good neb at them, and what I noticed then, the gearboxes, they have like the right tall gearbox. It's right high in it, shoulder level.
Yeah, the gear sticks. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I've seen an interview recently of Juha Kankinen. He used to, I think it was Peugeots he was driving at the time, but he said after the stages he was finding like fingers, bits of people in the air intake, like people that's been trying to touch the car, and most of the fingers ripped off. It's like, how mad's that?
Yeah, crazy, crazy, hardcore rally fans and that. Yeah, but them that got too close to the track and that, I mean, I always thought we were going to stand here. It's best just to stay well away from it, innit? But all safety's changed now with marshals and that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's now if you go on YouTube, you'll find my son was showing me I think the Monte Carlo rallies on just now, but there's like Armco barriers down this road, and they're all hanging over the Armco barriers. And I thought, well, I thought that's like going back to Group B days when they're all hanging over the track. But it looks mental. It's in the dark, and there's like fireworks going off and everything. But it does look spectacular. But it's absolute madness what some of the spectators are doing in my eyes. And
Them 6R4s were doing like 0 to 60. 3 seconds, weren't they?
oh, the sound off of them is amazing.
Are they doing that 3 seconds? Because there's no weight in them.
Yeah, no way, a lot of power and four-wheel drive.
So you got like
they sound
550 horsepower, weren't they? Because they were Group Bs, weren't they?
yeah, they're all around about that.
Half a ton.
Yeah,
Weighing half.
they weighed probably weighed about I don't know what they weighed, about 800 kilo or something, 900 kilo back then. Some of the cars were really light.
You can't buy them now. Them 6R4s. You can't find them, can you?
And if you do, they're mega money. Yeah.
Oh, mega money. Mini Metro. I took my test in an MG Metro, white one. A bloke from Bessica in Doncaster, Brian Rogerson, he were called. A C Reg it was. Mini Metro. Yeah, white. Metro.
Red seatbelts.
So a seatbelt. Yeah, red seatbelt. Yeah, red seatbelt. Yeah, red seatbelt. Yeah, no padding on it. I like a bit of padding on seatbelt, mate. But small world, isn't it? Okay. Mick Hennessy. What's happening with Mick now? We don't hear much about Mick now, do we? I hope he ain't lost to the sport. I know he's got his kids to manage and that, and they're fighting and that, but I just hope he ain't lost to the sport because nobody unearths talent like Mick. Do you agree?
Yep, the genuine boxing guy, wasn't he? Through and through, wasn't he?
Yeah. When you look who turned pro with him, Brock, Chris Eubank Jr., Barker, Huey, Tyson, Savannah. Well, Savannah had her first fight with Mayweather, didn't she? But what I want to make is, I don't want him to be lost at the sport. You know, making about money, he's a proper boxing bloke, and I just think that there's not a lot of respect put on him, but there's a bit of talk at the moment that he could be getting sky dates when that Ben's gone. What do you think to that?
I think that'd be a good thing, I think.
I think
Is he still managing Huey?
Yeah, I think he's still involved in Huey's career.
Yeah. I heard Peter mention him just recently,
yeah. Yeah, they're good mates, him and Peter. But I'd like to see Mick make a comeback. Would you?
Yeah. Oh, aye. He comes across as a genuine guy, eh? So that's what you want, genuine people, no bullshit.
What do you think to Eddie Hills coming out bragging that Ryan Garcia is going to PBC? It's not to do with him, so why is he like trying to dig Oscar out? He loves it, doesn't he? Can you see now why he's so popular in America?
It's all his own doing as well, isn't it? He's just going out there and annoying people. Eh? He couldn't be more annoying if he tried.
Yeah. This Eubank situation, though, what do you think is happening with it? You know, he's not Crusher Ben back, and Eddie's saying it's like farcical. What do you think?
Whatever he's doing, he needs to fight again soon because he doesn't want any more. He's had quite a lot of periods in activity, isn't he? So he needs to strike with iron sort of thing. He needs to get some kind of fight and go, is there no word I'm getting a title fight?
You what?
Was there no word if I'm getting a title fight?
Oh.
Eubank.
Yeah, they were at middleweight, but it's like a died a death, isn't it?
That's just disappointing when you hear, you think, oh, that'll be good, and then you never hear any more about it, eh?
It's like Eddie, he was going on about Ryan Garcia's going to come to UK and he'll fight Rolly Romero, and that's what he was going on about last week, and now it looks like Ryan Garcia's not to do Eddie, doesn't it? That's the word, like.
Mm.
So things
Oh,
change, don't they? By the
Eddie's
day,
getting lost.
eh?
Eddie's getting lost in the Saudi scene now, isn't he? That's all he's been distracted, isn't he?
Oh.
Brick top in the Saudi scene. That's where his priorities lie at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, they're only bothered about Saudi, aren't they? What do you
Yeah,
think? Andy Lee at the moment is getting a lot of love in it on social media for what he's done with Parker. You think
yeah.
he's putting his scent in the mix as the go to Andy Lee, the new Dark Lord? It's not Adam Boom, it's not Ben Davidson or Shane, it's Andy Lee. What do you think?
I think he's doing a good job. He sometimes comes across as a good pundit as well, doesn't he?
I think he's one of the best pundits.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah,
if it's nobody Irish. I think he's a bit biased with Irish fighters, though, to be honest. We're biased with
yeah.
Katie Taylor, one. Let's have it. Andy Lee, you were biased with Katie Taylor. Come see me.
It's a bit like
Exactly.
letting
Oh,
Tony Bell you.
don't come and see me, Andy. Don't come and see me. I ain't got time for you. Parker and Zhang, who you got?
Parker and Zhang, it's an interesting one. You'd maybe have to. I think Parker's on a roll at the moment, so he might outbox Zhang. Eh? I don't think he'll knock him out, but he might scrape a points decision if he can avoid getting knocked out himself. Eh? But I mean, Zhang's good at what he does, eh? But like you say, he doesn't do anything fancy. But I think Parker's a decent all rounder. I thought he's boxed well lately under Andy Lee, so he's maybe just coming into his own now. Eh? He's got a lot of experience, hasn't he, Parker now?
What do you think to Sky and boxing? Do you think they're freezing Peter Fury's fighters out because he's outspoken about transgender issues on his social media? So have you noticed
Hmm.
we were fighting on Sky or Savannah? They never really interviewed Peter, did they? What do you think about that
No,
one?
yeah, it's not something I've noticed, but when you point it out there, it kind of rings a bell, doesn't it? It looks like that could be the case. Yeah,
Well, Huey's not exactly been offered any dates, has he?
yeah,
It's a bit of
he's
a,
ready to go apparently. Yeah,
yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. What are you doing, Ben Shalom? Do you know what you're doing? No, you don't. You know what I mean? Why is Big Meech being loaded about by Sadiq Khan for a knighthood? What is all that
yeah.
about?
That's just the whole system of that just stinks anyway, doesn't it? When you look at some of the people that's getting knighthoods, like look at that post office scandal. Eh? That woman got was it a CB or a MB or something she got
Barry Hearn
all
got
that.
that for you, didn't he?
What's going on, eh?
Old Big
I think
Head.
if I was ever to get one, I think I'd give it back. I wouldn't have refuse it. Eh? It just goes against what I believe in. Eh? But it's like all the people get put in. I mean, that's getting on a political subject, isn't it? That Liz Truss and that, she probably should have prime minister for however many days. No, not very many. She's getting to put people in the House of Lords and all that. It's just boils my blood, eh? But she
Well,
she shouldn't even they should be jailed. All these people, in my eyes, for what they've done to this country. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, unbelievable, mate.
Mm.
Absolutely unbelievable. Crusher. Is he going to beat this Dobson? And I mean, he's calling out people, isn't it? Like Crawford, Ennis, Taylor, Eubank. He's calling all them out. And then he's fighting Peter Dobson.
Ah, it's a joke, isn't it? It's a joke. He's got no right to call anybody out from what he's done, has he? What's he done? He's done hee haw. So I hope Dodson gives him a good fight, that puts him in his place.
Mm. Who do you think's greatest middleweight ever to live?
Um, Sugar Ray Robinson, he was mainly welterweight, wasn't he? Did he fight at middleweight? Wasn't he a true middleweight, was he? I liked Sugar Ray Robinson, but or Hagler, probably he'd be a good bet, wouldn't he?
Hagler,
Or
Mons, Hopkins,
Carlos Monzon.
Carlos Monzon, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, do you know,
No,
where you are?
I would say Golovkin's been a good middleweight, hasn't
Mm. Yeah, well, he's got the record, hasn't he, for defences.
he? Mm.
I want to
Yeah.
know why these fighters today, your Billy Joes and on these sort of guys, why did they not fight the best? I know Billy Joe fought Canelo, didn't he? But why were they not stepping up sooner? Do you know what I mean? And why is it whenever they get flogged, it looks like it's all over and they never come back? I mean, this month alone, right? We're in the month of January, aren't we? Right. So far, Sonny Edwards, John Ryder, and who's the other one this month? It's been beat. Callum Smith.
Tom Smith, huh?
They've all been put on button moon, right, away from home and folded like deck chairs. Why is that? Is there a problem with our trainers? Is it a mental block in their heads? You ran out of whiskey there, Andy, or is it
I
what's
said,
that?
no. That's all in our drama, and that bottle's empty. Look,
You're
been on
looking
there.
tired, Andy. What are you going to do now?
I'll just have to drink this.
Is that is that as good as that stuff that geezer offered you the other night?
Well, it's not as strong anyway. It's only half the strength. That's only 40%, but that's decent. It's nice. But no, 88%. That's mental. That's firewater. That stuff. I once tried white whiskey, which is like clear whiskey, because when I was younger, I was an apprentice motor mechanic through the day, and at night time, at weekends, I worked in a shop as well, just for extra. I had 3 jobs at the time, and at night time through the week, I worked in this kitchen. I was in a function suite in a distillery, and there was this glass, clear stuff sitting above the sink on a shelf above the sink one night. The chef says to me, "Have a try of that." I mean, what is it like? He says, "Just try it, just try it." Well, felt like your throat was on fire, drinking that, but it was white whiskey, like it's like I don't know
White
what it is.
whiskey. What's that like? Well, does it look like vodka?
It's straight out still. I think it is. It's like it's not been matured in any way. It's brutal. It's just pure spirit or whatever. I don't know if it's 100 proof or whatever it is, but it's blow your head off.
And what happened when you drunk it?
I was like, fucking hell. I didn't
It's
drink much of it.
strong. It's
I
strong.
didn't. Oh, strongest thing I've ever tasted. That. But my old man, he would tell you a few stories about people in the distillery over the year. He didn't drink himself, but the folk he worked with, they would drink a milk bottle of that on a night shift. They were all going about.
Joking, mate. Well, because they were
Well,
free.
later. Oh, aye, they were, at one time, well, he started in the distillery back in the 60s, I think it was. And at one time, the everybody got three or 4 drams a day. It was, They were feeding people whiskey, so they were all probably hooked on it. And then they put a stop to that and give you an allocation of however many bottles a year. But then there was people, people selling it out the front of the distillery, and that's madness, just stupid. And but no, they were drinking that on. I don't know if it was out the still or what. I'd have to ask them again to find out exactly. But it was whether it came out the still or whatever. But they must have had a way of gathering it. But they had milk bottles. They take it and then. Okay, madness. No wonder these folk didn't live very long. Just bloated half the time.
How did they get any graft done if they were all pissed up?
I don't know. It was a lot of the time they've just been monitoring stuff and that. They probably a lot of the time maybe been sitting about or whatever, but they're just in a mess. A lot of them, How they ever managed to make any whiskey, I've no idea.
I always thought whiskey were like brown.
Oh, it is after it's been matured in a cask. The colouring comes off the cask, isn't it? The old sherry casks and that get matured, and I think some of it's coloured with some kind of caramel stuff. As far as I'm aware, you know that bottle you had, that Macallan, they're one of the few with the proper cask. They're a proper, that's a proper whiskey. That's megabucks, all that stuff.
I had a feel I gave Andy Patterson one. I sent Andy Patterson one, because I mean, to me, like it's just whiskey. To me is like, listen, I used to go to my granddad's and I'd see they had like a drinks cabinet and it were bells or teachers. So to me, it's all same. It's just what
Ah,
Scottish drinking it, whiskey. So,
yeah.
but I had them bottles, and a kid gave me a couple of bottles from Kent, Paul, and I had another bottle, but I've had about 3 or 4 bottles of really good stuff. And I give like a Sandy Patterson says, oh, I think it's in a picture of it or something on my phone, or I sent one. He said, oh, I'll buy that because he's right into it. And I said, I might as well give him it. Because he was like making a big thing out of it. And to me, it's just fucking whiskey. Whiskey's whiskey, but to some people, there's certain types that they like, isn't there? And
Man.
obviously, Andy Patterson's a connoisseur of that kind of thing, isn't he? So I sent him it, and he was buzzing with it. But I
My
do know
mate,
people that have paid 250 quid for bottles of whiskey and
my
they
mate,
drink it. You want what?
my mate collects it. He says some of his bottles are worth over £1,000 now.
Yeah, I know a kid who paid 1,400 quid for one of Dennis, you know, and I said, well, what did you do it? Are you just going to save it? He said, I'm saving it for the right moment. This guy that I met one night out with Dennis, and I thought, God, he's a serious like drinker. And I said, what's that? And he said, when my wife's gone on holiday. We're mates who's going to sit at home and deal with that. You know what I mean? So, wow.
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't drink a lot, but I like it. If I'm having a drink, I like a nice drink too.
well,
Just one or two. I don't drink whiskey. I just drink vodka.
what do you think to Jack Daniels? A lot of people around here drink that. Is that any good?
My son drinks that. He quite likes that. My eldest son, he drinks Jack Daniels. Southern Comfort's quite nice. I think that's kind of bourbon kind of stuff in it.
The Stig. I mean, so you know the Stig.
Aye,
Stig
he
Eisenreich.
likes his rum.
Pardon?
He likes his rum, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always see Stig lives in Surrey and he's got a bachelor pad and that nice pad and that. And on a night time when he's finished doing his job cabbying, he goes back to his gaff and he'll go to supermarket, Marks and Sparks, whatever. He'll get them like vine tomatoes, really strong cheese, some crackers, and he'll sit there with a glass of something. Do you know what I mean? And pick away, and he's a bit of a foodie, like, and he's just happy to sit down and have a nice, and just sit there with a bit of music on, and then he's got me
It's
bouncing
good.
about. He's actually all right, but he's a bit like that. He likes no airs and graces. Whereas me, I'm like, 8 cans and let's rip shit up, in pub or something. But I've never really been into that spirits. I know you're look at you there. What's that? Is that put cola in it or something?
By coconut, aye.
Yeah, I'm not into. I've never really been a spirit man, but a lot of Scotch people that I know, they're right into spirits. So I've been out with Scotch people before. I've gone bar and I've gone, 4 cans of Red Stripe, and one of them's gone, yeah, and he wanted a chaser with his. But oh god, it's pretty serious stuff, isn't it?
I don't drink beer, I sometimes drink cider. I like some ciders, but
You know,
I
Ed
usually
Robinson at Sky, you know what I'm on about, don't you? He used to do MC work or pundit work, didn't he, odd time and that, like an
mm.
anchor on Sky. He
Aye, yeah.
came up to Conisbrough when I lived at Conisbrough, Ed Robinson, and I picked him up at Conisbrough train station, back where I lived on the same street as Dave Allen, so I picked him up there. And he said, where do you want to go? So took him up to Hilltop Hotel. I was stood bar and I goes, 2 pints. He goes, I don't drink that. What do you want then? He goes, whiskey, double whiskey. I got him whiskey, and that's all he drank all night. Whiskey. And I said, is that what you drink when you go out? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, it surprised me, because I thought if he's not gonna have a pint, I thought, he's probably gonna ask for a glass of water or something. Because I thought he might have been a bit square, but no, he drank whiskey, and I was like, oh, we're quite shocked. He had a whiskey, and he was a pretty chilled out guy. Like, obviously, he's he is what he is. He's a company man, isn't he? But it shocked me that he was a whiskey drinker.
Mm.
Shocked me. But Campbell Hatton, what do you think about him?
Hands of foam.
Oh,
When's he fighting next? Has he got a fight coming up?
he's fighting James Flint from Doncaster on his next
Right.
show. Sheffield show that Terry Harper's on. But
I
what
don't
do you think
think.
he gets beat against James Flint? Because the word is he might end up losing to James Flint.
Hmm.
Eddie
I mean,
Hardy came up, from Doncaster, Campbell in amateurs. And James Flint, he's more than capable, Steffi Bull's fighter, of doing Campbell. And I hope he does him and represents for Doncaster and puts him on Button Moon. But if he don't put him on Button Moon and it goes to points, do you think he'll get a fair shake at weight?
nah. I mean, he's been beat already, hasn't he? And got a decision. It's an absolute joke.
He's had two gifts, hasn't he?
Hmm. I mean, it reminds me a bit of, I think I've talked about it before. Remember O.J. Abrahams fought Jeff McCreesh, knocked
Yeah.
him down twice. It was only about a 6 round fight, knocked him down twice, totally dominated him. And Ian John Lewis raised Jeff McCreesh's hand. Unbelievable. It was just like, that's probably one of the biggest robberies I've ever seen.
What, Ian John Lewis, Mr. Calamity? Well, he were one of Ian John Lewis who was suing the board. He were going to do this and they were going to do that. He were going to do wonders. All he did was sit on a cucumber. And do you know what? The best thing about it is he folded like a deck chair when they offered him a settlement. It were
Yeah.
unbelievable, but he should have got that settlement anyway because he gave a subjective score. But they never did anything with them others, did they? That
No,
Michael Alexander, he were only 1 point behind him. No happened to him, did it?
that's
So,
it.
so were it racist? I don't know, but there's been a lot worse than his cards. So the one they did him for, was it harsh? Maybe, but they want his first mistake, was it?
No,
Whereas if you think about Jeff Hines, who's never got the opportunity to fight, sorry, just to fight, to be an A-star referee, and he had an exemplary career. And he's got a bit of a case, Jeff Hines, from what I'm hearing, and I hope he goes all the way and ruins you, Roberto Smith, because you have been a joke for 16 year plus at the board. It's an absolute joke, isn't it? Come on, let's tell it true. Let's not beat about the bush here. The boxing board of control are no good, are they?
boxing board of no control.
And you know what the best
That,
thing about it is lately? Do you know when they wheeled Jane Couch out at Sky to carry Natasha Jonas's belt? Roberto Smith went up to Jane Couch and he put his hand out to shake Jane Couch's hand, and bygones be bygones and all that, because she battled board for years, didn't she, for a license?
mm.
And good old Jane Couch went, go on, get yourself Fucked. Go on, Jane.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
But
Brilliant.
class from Joe Gallagher and Natasha Jonas letting Jane Couch carry that out. You know what I mean?
Superb. I'll tell you what I watched the other night was Joshua Usyk 2. And it was one of the judges gave Joshua that fight, but it was 115, 113. I mean, that should have been looked at. That was an absolute disgrace, isn't it?
Oh, tell me about it. But okay, Tasha Jonas, not Tasha Jonas, Terry Harper, Sandy Ryan. Bookies are saying Sandy Ryan's a favourite to win by KO. What do you think to that?
Mm. Oh, it could be, yeah. Is that coming up soon?
Yeah, it's coming up soon. It's her next fight.
All right.
The point I want to make is, shouldn't Steffi Bull be protecting Terry Harper and trying to keep her away from fighters like that? Like they did Boomgarda rematch. I mean, this is how I look at it. How many people have had a rematch clause who are matchroom fighters, who are world champions? They've got a rematch. So if they lose that world title, they get an instant rematch. Sonny Edwards never had a rematch clause. Terry Harper did. So she had a rematch. So why didn't she take that fight? Because she got put on Button Moon, didn't she? Obviously frightened the last because she's only, well, she's a young lass, isn't she? She's been it like that. It must have shook her up. So now they're putting her in with somebody who's an even bigger puncher than that, Sandy Ryan. So who's looking out for Terry Harper, or is it just, well, she's mid-20s, she's got another 10, 12 year left in her anyway. So are they bothered if she loses? They just keep going to recycling it. And what do you think?
Again, could be a case of mismanagement. She's probably got mental scars still from the Boom Gardner fight. And as soon as she gets hit hard again, it'll be like put her into a state of shock, maybe.
Well, we all saw what happened when Tasha Jonas were knocking her about, didn't we? And I
Yeah,
just think that it's a bit worrying, that fight for her, because that's an hard fight against Sandy Ryan. She's bull strong, her mate. Honestly, absolutely bull strong. So she's gonna have to get on a bike and try and nick it on points, isn't she?
yeah.
Will she catch up with her? Well, we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, we'll finish off on this. How has it come to a situation where Eddie and Frank are like stuck up each other like they have been? Like a couple of little Nancy boys, aren't they? How's it come to that?
Money. It's all about money, isn't it?
It's like there's no morals from them. They're like they got the morals of alley cats. It makes you wonder, if these were ever like in court and they were both charged with something, they both put each other in, wouldn't they? To save the neck. When people try and save their own neck, some people have a brass neck on them, don't they? The brass neck on some people is unbelievable. We all remember Stubble, don't we?
Yeah.
Getting secondary ticket market for himself. Eddie does pay-per-views for fighters, right? And he said, well, this is what you're getting, this is where the money's gone. But when they're doing secondary market tickets, right? That secondary market, does that money count on the fighters' pay-per-view? Well, apparently not. Apparently that's money generated for Matchroom because they're giving you your pay-per-view money, you cut off at pay-per-view, and they're taking a percentage of the tickets sold at face value. But what about that extra money generated through StubHub? Now, apparently, according to certain people, Matchroom, that's their money. It's not the fighters. And I don't agree with that. I think the whole show should be shared properly. Is the food and beverage and the burger vans and everything like that, that's all Matchroom. Is that shared as well as the secondary ticket market? Because if they're doubling ticket prices and say the gate's 5 million, what if they're pulling 8 million off it with StubHub? Does Eddie just take the 20% of the 5 million off the fighters, but the other 3 million, that's Eddie's? Is that how it works, Eddie? Because I think you need to come and answer. Because if that's right, what I'm saying, does Anthony Joshua, does he get a cut of that StubHub? Or is that just for Matchroom? Or is that just for Anthony Joshua and not everybody else on pay-per-view? Because this is a very important question. And nobody wants to talk about this. Fighters who have been on pay-per-view, right, at Sky and DAZN, and they've had this StubHub involved. We're talking about extra money generated here, right? Is it split fairly down the line? We don't know. But when StubHub were riding high, Bricktop had MPs and a lot involved in it, didn't he? Trying to shut it all down and that. But we all remember when Bricktop got a slice of the StubHub, don't we? You didn't want to shut it down then, did you? old Din Ted. Did you? Old Din Ted. Yeah. Big dint in your head. You know what I mean? You're sick of them. They're snidey, aren't they?
Mm.
We're always told you don't really need to get too close to find out what happens because you'll not be happy. And you know what? Dennis were right. He used to say to me, the stuff that you're going to see that you might just not like. I mean, fair enough, we used to have our arguments, right, about it all. And he said, well, you can't say that. I said, I can say what I want to them. He used to go mad at me. But you can see why I'm like I am, can't you? And I think this affects me in other things that I do, especially up there. And I think it has a knock-on effect with how I deal with people in general, even queuing shop. You know what I mean? I think it, and so God knows what it's like for boxers. God knows what it's like for people like Dave Allen, who, let's have it right, has been shit on, hasn't he, from an high height.
Yeah.
That kid's been hung out to dry by them all, hasn't he? He's really finding out about who's who in boxing now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Did you see that IFL interview with him?
I've not seen it yet, no.
Yeah, I think it's awful what's gone on for David. But
Yeah.
he hasn't helped himself though, has he? Because he hasn't really put the effort in, has he? So he's
Yeah.
only got himself to blame why promoters have walked away from him. But he's still young enough. If he wants to get in shape, he's just got to get up in the morning and do it. I mean, look at shape I'm in. It's not hard to do. You've got to keep your feet out of the kitchen and you've just got to keep going and going. And I always think about what Dominic Ingle said. Consistency is the key. And Bunny. Consistency is the key. And Dave's not consistent, is he? If I'm 53, pushing 54, and I can get a six pack and shape to my arms and that, and I don't train heavy. It's all about what you eat, and if I can do it, they can. And look at me, I'm fat as a pig, Michelin man, wasn't I? I'd eat your house and home. If you called me round to your house, I'd be, well, are you leaving that? Yeah, give me it here. I'd box dinner up. And then an hour later, I'd say, you ain't got a George Foreman, have you? Yeah, you ain't got any chicken in the freezer, have you? Yeah, go on, give me a piece of chicken, not Georgie. Have you got any Tabasco? Yeah, you ain't got a bit of mash, have you? You know what I mean? You ain't got any bench, have you? Be like John Fury. In Chinese. Oh, this is a true story. I'll tell you this one before.
Right.
John Fury in Chinese at Withenshaw goes round, doesn't he, to get all chip pot oil, for his mate. So while husbands round back, Philip Mercury, we all chip pot oil. This is true. This, I swear to God. John Fury's in front of Chinese woman scared to death of him. Like they think he's a raving lunatic, which he is. John's like waiting. You can see him like with his eyes. You know what I mean? When he gets that on him, you haven't got any chips, have you, love? Yeah. Here, tray of chips, John. You want tray of chips, John? Give him a tray of chips. Oh, you haven't got a bit of rice to put with that, have you, love? Oh, you haven't got any spare ribs, have you? Before you know where you are, John's leaving, isn't it? With two big carrier bags, egg fried rice, special fried rice, curry sauce, chips. Full Johnny Fisher order, and mate filled up with chip pot oil. Andy, I'm telling you now. I'm telling
That's
you now.
mad,
My mate called me from down there. He says, yeah, John don't go to petrol station.
I used to have a mate like that, 300 diesel, like
You
straight
can
six
convert
cylinders.
that. You can convert that one into chip fat though. That's the only one you can do it, and then you can do it on all 190E as well, can't you?
190 diesel.
Convert it to chip fat oil, but
I think I had that about 18 years ago, but the smell of it, you turn your stomach, especially
well,
with
first
that.
time I seen him in it, I remember he used to park it right up the side. He won't park it on the street. He parked it on that bit of a slip road on Halliwell Road. It's right next to the gym. And I says, that make easy. And I remember saying to my mate, ask Dave Allen this. I says, that make is in it stinks of fish and chips. Yeah, that's because he's running on chip fat oil. Big John, who's going to tell him?
Crisp and dry.
I'm not telling him, he'll pull my head off. Anyway, what can you do? We've had a bit of a giggle, haven't we, tonight?
Good crack. Good crack.
Listen,
Dave Allen needs to adopt the right mindset. It's all in the mind.
he can do it, David. It's just that, listen, if you've got two kids and you're worn out and you're training people as well, you've got too many irons in fire, you're never going to do it, mate. And it's a shame because he'll probably want to do it when he's about 36 when it's too late,
Yeah.
So,
Wasted
okie dokie, Andy.
Okay,
Listen,
mate. You take care.
good evening. You go steady with that vodka. All right.
Good health, dear. Good health.
Cheers, mate.
Good
Bye
health.
bye.
Good health to everybody.
We got a big shout out for
Cheers.
Stig.
Good. Cheers, Stig. All the best, mate.
Take care. Cheers, Stig. Pop, bye.